about using notifications to verify that the payments have been occurred. So we are able to eliminate the need of adjustment. And this concept can be expanded to tackle much more sophisticated processes. Here is then a chance to reduce the operational expenses in an organization. This is an example I gave earlier. Please go to the next slide. For here, I want to show you an image of how such an automated blockchain-based federal index insurance program works. So you can create a smartphone that monitors the money coming in. If enough money has been paid, then automatically a policy will be issued. This money goes to a central reserve, or also called a risk pool. And this risk pool can also be monitored by smart contracts, ensuring that there's enough money in the risk pool, and if it's not the case, then not the policy can be stopped. It will massively increase, but also it will prevent misuse of this type of money. So also put money going out. And you can create smart contracts that monitor their data as being satellite data or other external data sources. For example, weather stations, ground sensors, popular field report data. Once they send out the trigger, then automatically a payment will be made to the farmer. And this could be done in fiat currency or in tokens. And those tokens, for example, can be exchanged to farming suppliers or producers. So this is actually also very good to use in using insurance. So once you are able to automate the insurance work, you can also think about innovating very positive work. So please go to the next slide. What we want to make happen within Etherisc is also to see how can we make a formal risk protection available for small-scale farming and also top of the value chain support. Please go to the next slide. So if you look at a value chain, in this value chain, in many cases, the farmer is the weakest link. While the value chain depends on the quantity and quality of the product that's produced by the farmer. So if the farmer has no product, the farming supplier will have no sales. If the producer has no product, they won't be able to deliver the product to a retailer, and in the end, the consumer will also have a product. So because of that, there's a value for every party in the value chain to protect the risk of small-scale farming. So now, blockchain technology is possible to program the money. So under what conditions, what incentives will there be to meet, to cover the risk of the farmer? All these kind of things, next slide please. We are currently working on together with our Especialidades and DApps. We are working with a group of farmers who are producing rice and also papaya to see how we can become an insurance product, which is also partly paid by the top of the blockchain. So, if you have seen this presentation and this is something also you could apply to an Ecuador, then please let me know. And I'd be happy to explore together with you how we can work together and make this happen. So, next slide, please. Señores y señoritas, muchas gracias para tu atención y hasta la vista que viene. Thank you.
All right, we'll take it.
We keep on going, that's what the idea of Appics.
Okay. We'll go with that project called Appics.
Uma is going to show. I hope that they have our first one. Otherwise, I will be. Otherwise, I will be. No, it's no. She wanted to. Is it really?
Is she there?
Okay, just 10 seconds and do.
Appics would be next. Appics.
Okay.
The other chief is not there.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yes? Good? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to do a quick presentation here on Appics, and before we'll let you go here, and I appreciate you being here with me, even though it's not in person. So my name is Uma, I'm co-founder and COO of Appics. Hello? Okay, the screen went blank, but okay, I'll continue. So my name is Uma, I'm co-founder and COO of Appics, and we've already heard some really great presentations about projects that enable you to start using the benefits of blockchain and really be an early adopter of this new technology space that we're entering. So quickly about myself, I got introduced to crypto in 2013 by my mentor and co-founder, who's currently in Switzerland. Back then, no one really talked to crypto, and yet my team and I. Oh, okay. Quick interruption, so I'm back. Okay, so back then in 2013, no one really talked about crypto or blockchain, and yet my team and I, we were constantly talking about the potential impact this technology can have on a global scale and how it can really shift our society for the better. But we also knew that in order to make this happen and to transition into the mainstream market, we would have to find a way for anyone to use it without having to understand the underlying technology. Because some people like to know how things work, including myself, but most people don't, and it just has to work. Just like when you get home and you turn on the light switch in your home, you don't necessarily want to think you travel and turns into light, or you don't have to know how a computer was built in order to use it. So the technology just needs to be an easy solution to a problem. So let's start by looking at some problems. See, okay. Are we the next slide, please? At passion reward. Okay. See, I believe passion is something that we all have, whether that's dance, music, arts, or football. And some of us get to live out our passions more than others and make a living from it, and others aspire to turn their passion into a paycheck someday. And again, others, and this goes for most people, have already ditched it because they don't think of it and we've been tricked to believe that earning money by doing something you love is sort of like a privilege, that only a minority of few selected people can do it. And social media is a living example of that. So let me share with you the meaning of our slogan and our mission, which is passion rewarded. Next slide, please. So my team and I started to understand that the reason why so few people are able to live their dreams and do what they love is the same reason why poverty exists in the world today. And the wealth of our global society belongs to less than 1% of the people. And this is because our world is built on centralized systems where only the very few at the top benefit. And this is true for so many areas and industries that we constantly see in our lives, including the area that my team and I are tackling, which is social media. Next slide, please. So we spend so much time on our phone using apps, sharing our lives, commenting, liking our friends' pictures, and we would think, well, I can sign up for free, I can spend time on these platforms for free. Next slide, please. When in reality, we are working for free for these billion-dollar companies, even though we, the users, create the value, are the ones who create the value in the first place. We are sort of like the engine of the network. And yet we are the product of the company, right, which they sell to the advertisers. And we pay with our time, our attention, and of course, the content that we buy and distribute, we like and share. And we often do this unknowingly. Next slide, please. And of course, which becomes pretty obvious, is that the more people join the network, and this is a statistic, by the way, from a centralized company you all are very familiar with, and so the more people join, the company grows in value, and yet the only ones benefiting from that are the advertisers and the corporate shareholders. So, next slide, please. So besides this injustice of value of distribution in social media today, we've become also more aware of other issues, including algorithms that manipulate the user's feed, which, as you know, are no longer chronological, but now we're being presented more ads that are relevant to our personal interests. And we really have no other choice other than just accept being taken advantage of, or we decide to leave the platform entirely. So there really was no other alternative. Next, please. So now that we understand that contribution in a social media network is actually currency, and spending time there being social is essentially doing what I like to call sugar-coated work without compensation. And so now that we understand this, we can start talking about